What's up, guys? I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about collection or category pages and the biggest conversion boosters that you can have right now. And this is based on hundreds of A/B tests that we've been running throughout Purple Fire for tons of different DTC brands, and there's just some rules, certain things that come up over and over and over as winners, and I'm going to be breaking them down to you today in this video. And by the way, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on Spotify or Apple. Please review this podcast because it's the only way that I will continue to grow and get more videos out for you. All right, let's dive into it. So I got about 15 different points here on my screen that I want to kind of go over, and then I have a few examples of different brands that are kind of illustrating the things I'm talking about. I'm going to be using one jewelry brand that I just love because they have sort of checked a lot of the things that I'm talking about as well. So let's just kind of change the screen here. Boom. And now you can see a lot of different things that I just constantly A/B test on our clients. So the first one is the simple one: move products above the fold. Remember, always mobile first. So this one is huge, and I just cannot believe how lazy brands are. It's especially true to brands that are not on Shopify, just because they're a native solution for category pages on other shop systems like Magento and WooCommerce, BigCommerce are just horrible of doing these things correctly, which means the products are really far down the page and you have to scroll to find even the first ones. I think even Anna, which is a massive brand doing millions and millions, they have a really shitty, to be honest with you, collection page. I can see here we have this huge image, doesn't really show a lot, and just this white text. And then we can only see 2 products here, which is not really nice. You cannot even see the full price. You have to scroll down. So I would redo this completely if I was them. And then the other thing that's really funny is when you scroll down, you cannot even see the cart anymore. So let's say you add to back, maybe the cart will show up, but it's a weird feeling of not knowing that the cart is here, and also writing sort of categories here. So usually you would write menu. A few different things. Search bar is gone. So there's a lot of issues here. We'll get into that a little bit more later, but moving products above the fold is going to be key. This is a pretty good solution here from Jury, which is the brand that I'm constantly just highlighting as a really nice store. First of all, we have 2 products shown above the fold, which you can see them clearly, but also because they're high, they have a lot of SKUs. They have 239 SKUs. They want to make sure you can easily find filters and other categories of earrings quickly, right? So we got different types: hoops, studs, drop earrings, single earrings, and so on. And they're just highlighting them here because they know there's a high chance you might want to see that. That's one of the conversion elements I want you to pay attention to as well. In my opinion here, I would clean it up a little bit, maybe an A/B test whether I should be looking at adding more products a little bit further up, and I should remove these buttons here. They're very difficult to see, so this is just something I would love to take into consideration. Number 2 is sticky filters, and filters that you can take off with just a single click if you don't want to have that filter applied. So if we go back to Majority again, let's see if we can put in a filter. Let's try to put in a pricing filter under 150. We can see the filter here now applied on mobile. It says under 150, which means I can easily tick that off if I don't want to see it anymore. And I can also see as I scroll down that there's one filter enabled right now, which is really powerful. I would like to see that filter is directly exposed here as a sticky, because then I can just click it off even if I'm really far down the page. I do have to click here and then find the filter and tick it off. So there's a little bit of room for improvement here, but still way better than most. This filter is really nice because you can see it right here and it's exposed. So this is a huge one, and most stores are not doing that. I don't even know if they have filters. They don't even have filters. Let's try to see if we can find some other businesses that have filters, different ones here. There's a filter here. So let's look at gold plated with the store, and now I have to apply that filter. I think it's applied, but I cannot actually see it. I have to go in here again, and then I can see it's ticked on. So this is not a good experience. So basically really terrible. As you scroll down, you don't know what filter is applied. There's a whole host of issues. Jewelry Room is a terrible website. I'm going to break down all the things they can improve in this video as well. So yeah, sticky filters, huge one. If you haven't done this already, get that applied, because it's going to be a really nice revenue per visitor uptick. Infinity scroll is really nice. I'll show you an example again on Jewelry Room. So like I'm scrolling down, I'm seeing a lot of things. I'm not really sure what to buy. And instead of just loading more products dynamically here, I have to now click load 24 more products and I have to wait for that. And then I can go again. And this is going to create a lot of fatigue. Over time, people get tired of clicking on buttons. It's mentally draining to keep having to click on things, whereas scrolling is very effortless. So this is going to decrease decrease their conversion rate, and it's an issue. So definitely something you want to fix. And lots of brands are not doing this correctly, because even Majuri that are doing so many things correctly, they're also not doing it. We have to load more products as well. So it's not good. We've sometimes seen a 10 to 20% conversion uptick when we just fix this little issue. So it's going to be big. But do split test it. It's very important, just because everything has to be verified. And even if you have a win, let's say you're an e-commerce manager, you work for a big brand, you want to be able to take this back to leadership and say, hey, look, I just found a 20% conversion uplift. And, you know, if you don't do this, no one will know what happened, and you will not be rewarded for the hard work you are applying every day for your job. So that's the third one. Let's look at this one, showing more images per product page. So making it possible to swipe right to click more photos. So basically what I meant with this one is we can see there's actually 2 images here. So I can scroll to the right, and there are 2 things that are really important here. Number one, showing that there are more photos. You can do this with this little design here, or you could go like this if you wanted to, if it made sense, where the second photo is kind of like showing a little bit, so you can see that there's more to be seen. But in this example, it wouldn't be clean because it's like a zoom in on a face. So it makes sense to apply this solution, right? That means you can just see it on an actual person, and that will increase conversion rate. So most stores are not doing that. In this example here, we cannot even see if there are more images, and you cannot scroll more. So most businesses don't have this. Here, we can also not see additional images, which I think would be a big conversion uptick for Pet Lab, because they're really good with their product galleries, and they're really selling the product in the gallery. So I would consider making the images bigger, number one, but also adding in a gallery here. Because what is happening in e-commerce now is that a lot of businesses are actually consuming and buying on category pages. They don't even want to go to product pages, because it's like a new load, and it takes a long time, and it's a lot of effort. A lot of people are literally just like scrolling, shop, add to cart, and they want to leave the category pages, and you are allowing them to shop if you are adding in the product gallery on collection pages. Reviews displayed on products, this is huge, right? So we don't have any reviews here as far as I know. This example here, we also don't have reviews, but on Pet Lab, they're actually showing reviews. Not doing a good job with it, because they're not showing the amount of reviews on the average rating. So it means nothing, basically. It can just kind of allude to the fact that there are people that have tried it before, but this is also horrendous, because what about all these products that don't have reviews? Am I going to be the first one that buy this bundle since no one has reviewed it? So be consistent. If you're going to do reviews, every single product should have a lot of reviews, and they cannot say we don't have enough traffic, because they're a massive brands. So again, this is very unbelievable, to be honest. Now, one company that's doing it here is Honest. So I actually have reviews, but what they're not doing a good job by is showing the amount of reviews, the average rating. This is really important. We did this test for a CBD brand called Nordic Oil, and we saw, I think it was around 22% conversion uplift, if I'm right. So it was a huge boost. And whenever you have consumable products, reviews are even more important, because you're putting things in your mouth and you're just going to be a little bit worried about that. So reviews are really important. Finding out what filters people engage with and making it dominant, and maybe show it at the top. That's a really big one. So basically, if I was doing conversion rate optimization for Majuri, I would find out what filters people are actually engaging with the most. Let's just say it's the price filter, and it is whatever, something else, the color filter. I would obviously take the pricing filter to the top. I would take the color filter as the next one. And I might even be doing some A/B testing. Maybe I'll do a slider so people can slide with their mouse, or if they're on a phone, they can just slide with their thumb or whatever. And that way, I don't even have to dive into the filters. It's just so native. It's just so easy. And then if you scroll down and you slide it over to $150, that slider will go down, or it will at least have this come down with you as a sticky, and that way I can quickly just remove it if I feel like I want to remove it again. So diving into the analytics, this is why Google Analytics is super important, and why it's important that you audit your analytics and make sure you get things sorted, because if the data and the analytics is not set up correctly, then you're blind and you cannot actually see anything here. You wouldn't be able to tell what filters people are engaging with. So it needs to be done. It's something we always do when we're taking clients. Audit the analytics, fix the analytics, step 2, and use those insights to come up with more powerful tests based on actual data. USPs above the fold, or loading as a banner between products. So unique selling points is what I'm talking about here. What you really want to do is you want to make sure that above the fold, you're communicating some of your values. So let's say Majuri has a warranty program, they have a membership club, they have something about all jewelry being ethically made, fair trade, whatever it might be. Those values would be great to communicate above the fold. The reason for that is a lot of traffic is simply landing on the collection pages as their first page of entry. They're not familiar with the brand. They don't know what this brand is about other than they're selling jewelry. And you want to make sure that we increase that motivation. We communicate what we stand for as a brand immediately, because a lot of that traffic is going to bounce. But if we can communicate our main values, they're also going to be more likely to buy in the future and have something to remember us by. So finding out the USPs that people care about is really important. You would do that through post-purchase surveys. You would do interviews. You would do on-site surveys. You would do a lot of different things. You would mine reviews all over the place, competitors as well. All that data would then be compiled, and then you will find out, okay, people care about a warranty program. People care about the fact that we have a 90-day return policy, and they care about the fact that we make all the jewelry in the US. So let's just say it's that. Then you want to communicate those things, but they're not random. These are things we have mined from thousands and thousands of data points. So we understand this is what moves conversion. This is what people care about. I'm just showing you that because it's really, really important to actually have USPs. And you can also apply them in other ways. So let's say every 9th or 6th product, I could do a banner. I could remove these and could do a banner. I could communicate some values, and these products will simply be moved lower. You can see an example of another thing they're doing here. So instead of just doing a banner on USPs, they're actually showing you that there are other types of jewelry in different categories. So they're adding in these sort of banners once in a while. Here, boom, another one. And this is really nice as well. This is a way to lead you to other categories. And the data is suggesting that if you're scrolling so far down, maybe you're not finding what you're looking for, which is why they're doing this. And this is a really, really good way to lead them to the right category. This is a long video, but there's so much to go through. So again, this is a lot of value. This is hundreds and hundreds of tests where I'm just compiling all that information into a video, hopefully giving you some value and giving you some starting points on how to optimize your collection pages. The next one I want to show and highlight is a 2-grid system instead of 1. Testing it is really important. You can use 2-grid, you can do 1, you can do even more than that if it's small products. So what I mean by that is, should you show 2 products side by side, or should you just show 1? This should be A/B tested, and it can depend a lot on the quality, the AOV of your products, and so forth. Right? You can see we're using a 2-grid here as well. This Shopify store has a filter, so you can do a 1-grid system. Their photos are so small with so much white space around them that it's very difficult to see the detail of the product. Like, I can't even tell what's written here. I cannot tell what's written here. If I click the system here, now I can actually read what's inside of the rings. I can read the detail on it. And this is really nice because I want to kind of see like everything inside. I want to see all the details. In my opinion, this jewelry is already looking way better now with the 1-grid system because the photos are much better. I can see the details more. It's expensive product, so it makes sense. Now, I would A/B test this to see what makes sense, right? Maybe this is the best system, or maybe this is. You just don't know, and you want to test that. So this is one thing you should queue up as one of your tests immediately. The other thing is adding similar categories to sign like Instagram story thumbnails. So basically what I mean by that is, when you're on a collection page like this is a really, really poor execution of it. But basically they have rings, and they have different sort of type of rings, pearl rings, rose gold rings. It's just not very well executed. It looks horrible. What you want to do is not use all this space, which is terrible use of space. What you want to do, I'm just going to show you on the homepage. You want to use this kind of design for additional categories. This is very engaging. It's native. People are literally coming from Instagram and they're seeing the same format, and they're just attuned to it. They're going to click on it, and you can be sure they're going to find the products they're looking for. So having these underneath and inside of your categories, here you can see that majority just went for the copy-based design, but I'm betting they will see a way higher click-through rate and conversion rate if they added in this style, just because, you know, visually it's easier to understand, but also it's engaging. It's something people love. You could even make them sort of spin so it's showing different things inside. You could add in like a little red icon like that next to it, so it shows how many products are inside of each category. That's also pretty cool. It's really nice, and basically you can obviously use data to understand what categories to show. So there are certain apps that will suggest what categories they're most likely to look into when they're inside of an earring category, for example, just to take jewelry as an example. So another example of how you can optimize your collection pages, getting people to jump to other categories without having to click on the hamburger menu, is going to decrease the effort it takes. And you are getting traffic obviously from social. They have zero tolerance for delays or for high effort work. They are tired. They're probably at their end of the day, and they have had a long day with their kids or whatever. They just don't have any energy to be figuring things out. Make it as easy as possible to get people to buy. That is an exercise you should apply throughout your website. Sticky menu is a big one as well. So there's a lot of things to be said about this. I'm not going to go super deep here, but we have a menu up here and it sticks with you as you scroll down. This is usually a pretty big conversion uplift. They apply filters. So you can see filters here. When you scroll up, you can see other categories. So I would go for this model. There's certain considerations you can do as well. Like, should you actually have that exposed filter like that shown so you don't have to click here to see it? Should you have search sticky as well? That can be a huge thing too. So there are certain things you can kind of play around with and test out. There's so many different variations. So, but it's important, and there's certain executions that are not great, like this one. Here we see a decent option as well. Like, let's try to just hit up a category. Menus over here and you can see different things. So at least it's there, but it's really important you have it. Let's continue. This is a huge one. This is one you don't want to skip out on. So sorting by bestsellers in short time frames like 7, 14, and 30 days, and using an app to power this up. Basically, you want to take advantage of AI here, because this is one of the things AI is really good at. It's basically analyzing data and rearranging things based on the results. So I could just have my category page like this. I have 133 earrings in. The way I set up my category, the way I set up my table is going to hugely influence the revenue and profit per visitor. If I'm showing the wrong earrings at the top, I'm going to get way less people to buy. So that needs to be perfect. And if you're just sorting by bestsellers based on your shop's history, you're going to get old stuff that is not in fashion right now. You're going to get products that are out of stock. You're going to get products that are discontinued, and so on and so on and so on. So you want to use some kind of database and AI to rearrange your categories. You can use rebuy, you can use so many other ones. Category sorting is a huge thing now, but it's underutilized. Most shops are not sorting based on data points of 7, 14 days, 1 month, and this is a huge problem. So here we only have 8 products, obviously not super important, but even having the best products here versus having them down here could be the difference between a 10 to 20% conversion rate uplift. We've seen that multiple times, and you really need to worry about this. And even more so if you have a lot of SKUs, like a jewelry brand, like a supplement brand, like a fashion brand. So this needs to be redone and needs to be sorting based on trends, what you're seeing now, if it's good weather outside, if it's summer, if it's cold, if it's hot. These things matter. Is it wedding season? If you're in a fashion related brand, is it like a Christmas season? It might change things. What social events are people going to? Is it January where people want to get back in shape and they want to lose weight? Different parameters outside your stores will dictate what products people are buying, but you need to sort here. And that's really important. You need to also take your products that are out of stock and move to the bottom of the list, or hide it. Like, you'll have to test that as well. This is something a lot of brands are not doing too. Adding bestseller icons is another one I wanted to highlight. This is a huge one. So basically what we're doing is, for certain stores, like let's say a baby store, kids store, we'll find out like what's a bestseller. We'll add a bestseller icon for that. What's best for, let's say we have a brand that is selling supplements, and we have a massive category of products. We might stick on something that says best for weight loss or best for energy if you're trying to get a product that gives you energy, right? So we'll do different labels that makes it easy for people to pick those top products based on what they're looking for. These are things that are really important. If you're a fashion brand and you got a little bit of publicity, you could also put something like mentioned in Vogue or some kind of magazine, like give it a little bit of trust. These are things that are really important and makes it easier for people to understand what products they want to buy. It's all about eliminating dilemma. So remember that. How can I eliminate dilemma? Well, I can do that, for example, by adding in icons that makes it easier for people to pick what they want. If you're a dad and you're like, oh, I need to pick, a new suit for myself, it would be really nice to know what's the best selling suit, so that you don't show up looking like an idiot, but actually a suit that's in style, the color is in style, and this is what other people chose as their main product. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you this massive list of the biggest improvements for your collection and category pages. If you found value in this, please do leave a comment below, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're watching on Spotify or Apple, please do review this podcast. It definitely helps a lot. Thank you, and we'll speak soon.